The government has announced two tax changes yesterday, and one of them has been frozen since 2011. The other will expire on the 1st of September, and most business owners haven't got a clue about either of these. And that is a mistake I'm not going to let you guys make. My name is Mustafa, I'm an accountant, I run my own practice out here in the UK. And this channel exists because the advice out there on the internet is so scattered, it's all over the place, and I want to be able to condense it down in a way that you guys can have it clear, actionable, and in plain simple English. Yesterday, the Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, she announced in the House of Commons that there's going to be two tax changes. She announced something that she calls the Great British Summer Savings Package. It's a bit of a mouthful. And the headlines were all about family savings, things being slightly cheaper for families, and helping businesses boost throughout this busy period of summer. Now, the two changes. Let's go into the first one, which is the mileage rate, because this one will affect most of you that are watching. Whether you're an employee, self-employed, a limited company director, employed in your own company, this will affect you as long as you do some form of business miles. This could have been for any business related travel, whether it was seeing clients, moving from site to site, buying something for business where you needed to take your car. And that rate has been stuck and frozen since 2011 at 45p per mile. But now it's increased to 55p per mile. So what does that mean for you business owners? So let's say you drive 8,000 business miles in the tax year 26 to 27. On the old rate at 45p per mile, you could claim about £3,600 tax free. Now on the new rate at 55p per mile, that's about £4,400. So it's an extra £800 you can now claim tax free, NI free, completely free. Now for a director who's doing about 10k business miles, it's not uncommon. This simple shift from 45p to 55p could put an extra £1,000 back into your pocket every single year. And that's going to help towards the running cost of your car, your insurance, the wear and tear, and the crazy fuel prices right now. Now here's the critical part, and here's where most people fall down. You need to have a mileage log. HMRC expects to have a clear breakdown for the date of the journey, where you were going from and where you're going to, the details for that journey, including the amount of miles you traveled. If you don't have that record, you can't claim back mileage. It's as simple as that. There's plenty of free apps out there where you can just download on your phone and it'll automatically log every single business mile. So stop being lazy. And here's the thing about this specific change. It's been backdated to the 6th of April 2026. So for you guys who have already been reimbursed at 45p per mile, let's say today's date is 22nd of May at the time of recording, you can now go back and reimburse yourself an additional 10p. Now that's currently money sitting there waiting for you to just collect, rather than handing it over to HMRC. So if you're finding this video useful so far, make sure you subscribe, because every single week I put out content just like this to help you business owners understand UK tax strategy in a way that makes sense for you and your business. Now if you want to know what these changes mean exactly for your business and your circumstances, there's a link in the description below. Please fill it out and I'll be contacting you guys personally. Now let's talk about the summer VAT cut. This is a big one because this one is a little bit more nuanced and it only affects certain industries, certain trades. So what Rachel Reeves has announced is simply a reduction in the VAT rate for this period. So normally business owners would be paying 20% on applicable sales. Now that has been slashed down to 5% for about 10 weeks. So it's important to note that not every single thing that you sell is going to be within scope. There are certain limitations and certain things. So on that list, you've got things like your admission tickets to theme parks, zoos, museums, fairs, adventure parks, soft play centers, observation attractions, and the big one is children's meals at restaurants or cafes or takeaways. As long as these cafes, restaurants are serving off a dedicated children's menu, then that can be applicable for the reduced VAT rate. So what does this mean for a business owner and how does it affect you guys? If you're a VAT registered business and selling any of the services or goods that I just mentioned previously, along with a few more other things, from 25th of June, your VAT liability is going to be slashed. So let's say you run a soft play center and a typical week during the summer, you bring in about 10k. So normally on that 10k, around about £1,667 will be going to HMRC in VAT at 20%. Now during this period when it's 5%, only around £476 is going to HMRC. That's £1,190 additional profit for you guys over this 10-week period. And over 10 weeks, that amounts to around about 12 grand. The plan for this was for business owners to pass on this saving to their customers. Is this going to happen in reality? I don't know, but it's there. Now for most small business owners, you are not going to be thinking fast enough and you're not going to be up to speed with these changes. So here's what you need to do today. You need to act before the 25th of June. You need to get your accounting systems ready. You need to get your tills ready. You need to get your staff trained. And if you need to develop new menus to help you achieve this 5% reduced rate, then do that now. Because if you charge 20% accidentally or it's a mistake when you should have been charging 5%, it's an admin issue, it's a customer issue, and overall it becomes a HMRC issue as well. So here's my honest take on both of these announcements. They've both been great, they both are helping business owners. And firstly, the mileage rate increase is something that's been long awaited for many years, and it's finally come. Is the 55p per mile enough? I think it needs to be somewhere near the £2 per mile mark, but it's there now, it's available, and if you haven't already, make sure you go back to 6th of April 2026 and backdate the additional expense that you could actually claim back. Now, the summer VAT cut, on the other hand, it's a lot more complicated. It's only applicable to certain businesses, but for those who are eligible, it's a good way of bringing more footfall to your business. It's a good way of bringing new customers to your place, and it's a way of promoting cheaper prices, helping those out around you, and bringing families together. Now, I do see the problem where it's not overall helping the industry as a whole. It's only a 10-week period, and what's going to happen after that? It's going to be back to normal, the hiked VAT back to 20%, which is not what the industry wants. They want an overall reduction in their VAT rate. Will you get that? I'm not sure. The real lesson from both of these announcements, as always, is there's constant changes in taxes, in accounting, in everything in VAT. Your accountant should be telling you exactly what to do and what not to do, and whether it applies to your specific situation and scenarios. If yours is not doing that, it's worth having a conversation. So 2 things I want you guys to do before you swipe off this video. Firstly, check your mileage logs. If you've not got a log, start logging. It's free money back into your pocket. Secondly, if your business qualifies for the reduction in VAT rate, make sure you're well prepared before these changes. If you want help working out whether any of these changes are going to affect your business, affect your profitability, your margin, your revenue, then it's worth having a call. There's a link in the description for a free discovery call with myself. No sales pitch, just a proper conversation about your numbers. And as always, if you found this video useful, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share.